it's Lee from coloringqueen.net, and this is the extended review for Rising, the hardback edition. If you would like to see the extended review for Rising, the click binding edition, please see the links below. And please watch out for the giveaway of this lovely colouring book. So you can see the sizing of the book up against Secret Garden to get an idea of how big it will be in your bookshelf, and the thickness of it as well. It's got a hard binding on it, which is really sturdy, and I believe this cover is smudge proof. We've got some gold foiling there, and then this gorgeous decal like image of a coloured picture from the book on that cover. And this cover is really quite thick and sturdy. So we have white protective paper to start the book, but the actual colouring images are printed in an off-white. There are 96 pages in total, and they're all printed on one side of the page. Now, Karolina started illustrating this book over the last couple of years when things have been a bit challenging. And so this book is a really reflection of what her life has been like, and I think Rising is a good name for it. So we've got this gorgeous grayscale image of the beautiful girl, and her eyes have been obliterated by her plaits. It's a darker grey, and the line art, as per usual, is absolutely beautiful with the way that Karolina uniquely uses cross-hatching in her artwork. So really, really gorgeous images. And this is printed on 150 GSM paper. Now the images do run up into the gutter, so you are going to have to pull the book down a little bit to get your pencil in there. There's little notes from Karolina through the book. And look at this gorgeous girl. She's really eating those ferns up. And so lots of delicate details and things that Karolina is known for, like the use of those third eyes and the intense use of black. It's really not black scale. Her work always reminds me of pen and ink drawings. And I guess being a tattoo artist, that's to be expected. So we've got a big range of images here. We've got faces, half body scenes, full body scenes, some animals, lots of plants, and there's always mushrooms, because I believe that Karolina is a real fan of mushrooms and other fungi. Got a cute little bird in this one. And all these gorgeous little houses in the distance. I've seen some people doing pictures on Instagram. They're looking fabulous. Beautiful. Little cat having a peek through the roses or through the flowers there. So there's something sort of for all colouring moods, if you like. If you don't feel like doing a full scene, there's some smaller images. There's lots of woodland and animal type images incorporated. And then there is just lovely little scenes here. Another lovely little note from Karolina. It's more of a, not really a poem, but just sort of words to live by. Take a breath, you are in control. You can do anything. Sometimes we all need to hear that. We've got some skulls here, she's looking very meditative, and she's she's really running free here. Lots of gorgeous little berries there in the background. This one is a lot blacker than many of the other pages in the book. We've got our peacock. Hopefully he's having a nap on her. And Then we've got a little gnome, and I don't believe I've ever seen a little gnome in any of Karolina's other books. I could be wrong, but I think it's the first time I've seen a gnome. And we've got these headshots. She's a little pixie or a little fairy with her little ears like that. Lots of gorgeous flowers. Portrait of my beautiful Millie, maybe. I don't know. And this one's really interesting. So we've got the three heads here. They've got little light freckles across their face. And this one is definitely one of my favourites. It's absolutely gorgeous. Another little note from Karolina. A golden glow shines onto the clearing you have reached. It's a nice one to do if you don't want to commit to a whole page at once. And some of the images look very pensive and I think that's probably a reflection of what Karolina was experiencing at the time. We've got our cute little mice here. And a gorgeous fairy. She's got lovely wings on her. These beautiful mushrooms surrounding this semi-naked flower lady with jellyfish. Actually, sorry, they're not mushrooms. They're jellyfish surrounding this gorgeous mermaid that her outfit looks like it's made out of flowers. And this is another beautiful scene. This background looks like a shell to me. We've got our snake. And then a thank you from Karolina. Now this is the last of the pages that is actually on the off-white colouring illustration pages. And then we have the white protective page, the cover and the back. So I'm going to test out my mediums, not on the protective page because it's a different colour, but on this page here. So I'll probably do them within this spot here. Okay, I've got my little circles drawn and I'm going to test out these particular pencils on rising. Starting off with the Prismacolor. I've got burnt ochre here. It's going on really smoothly as you would expect because the paper does have a slight texture to it. Now, excuse me, I'm sitting in a very uncomfortable position at the moment. Things are a little bit crowded here, so hopefully you can see me colour. I'm going over with the peach and it's going on really smoothly. Now bear in mind with Prismacolors, I usually do a few layers. So when you see me colour on screen, I usually go back and do another one. But one layer here is going pretty well, except for the burnt ochre. So I'm going to go in a little bit harder this time. And that is really going down well. There's no resistance. It's very smooth. And it's a really good paper. It's not so toothy that it's going to take you a long time to flatten out the tooth, because I'm going back here with my peach and basically flattening it on this burnt ochre, and it's going down really easily just on the second layer. And the reason that I do so many layers is that usually, first of all, I often want to add depth, and sometimes I manage to even achieve that, or light or something like that. But usually it's so that if I make a mistake, it's easier to rub out a light layer than it is to rub out a lot. So that's 2 layers. It's blended really well. I am personally very happy with that. And if I went in just really hard around the edges, it's going on without any resistance on the paper or anything. So very happy with the Prismacolors on this paper. Now let's move on to the Holbein pencils. So I'll start off with this beautiful salmon pink. Now this is just from my little baby set of 12. I didn't crack open the big box. I rarely use my big box because I'm always worried about trying to get replacements for them. But mind you, I use this 12 set all the time when I do these extended reviews, and they've got no sign of wearing out. And now in Australia we can actually buy open stock from the art shop, so I really must dive in and start to use them. They're going on as smooth as butter, by the way. Really, really smooth. Probably better, if not the same, than the Prismacolors. It's no problem flattening down the tooth. No resistance. They really are working very, very well. And to be honest, if I'd gone a bit harder the first time around, probably wouldn't even need to come in here and do the second layer. But this paper looks like it can handle multiple layers, or as few as you wish. Let's try the Polychromos. So we'll start with cadmium orange. And this is just gliding on. There's no resistance. It's really smooth. It almost feels like it's slipping on the page, but it's not. It's just so smooth. And honestly, I don't know that you would need a second layer unless that's what you wanted to do. And going in over it with my cadmium orange, and it is as smooth as... Let's try a lighter colour here at the end, and again very smooth. And go back in here. It is making more of a noise on the page than the other ones, but I guess that's just the way the different pencil is. And this, when you go around it again and press harder, it's just really nice. It's gliding on, it's not a problem. And the colours look super vibrant. Looking at it closely, I can't see any tooth that needs to be flattened down. So it looks like it's just blending out really, really well. So they're all so far really good. I've got no complaints. I'll try the Arrtx now. So I think I'll go in with this ocean blue. And I wish the Arrtx label names were a little bit bigger, because these sad old eyes can't see them. And that's going on really smoothly. And give it another colour, Delft blue. Again, going on smoothly. I'm going to do a little bit of light here and finish up with the light cerulean blue. Now, I haven't pressed super hard, so I'm going to go back. And if I press just a little bit harder, it's just really flattening down that tooth really, really easily. There's no problems. I can see a couple of white spots, but I'm not pressing that hard. Might need to do another layer with the Arrtx or press a little bit harder in order to flatten the tooth completely down. So we'll do that. Yeah, and now the tooth is just easily flattened down, and I could, you know, just use a white to blend it out or a blender pencil rather than doing the extra layer, but we're here. And there, that's all it needed, was another layer or to press harder. But the paper is so far loving all the pencils that I've given it, which is good because there's a different range of prices there in the pencils, with the Arrtx ones being the more budget ones. So let's try the Black Widow. So we'll go with this dragon zombie. Oh, and that's going on very smoothly. This is from the Monarch series of pencils. And I think we'll just do two colours, the Calm Lime. And that again is going on like butter. It is really smooth. And, you know, for a budget pencil, it's doing really well. It feels really creamy and it's going on super smooth. A bit more of our zombie here. And just going back over. Going to press a bit harder to see what it's like. And it's super easy to flatten down. Now it did move a little bit of the paper there, but I think that was because I pushed on it a little bit too hard. So they're very good. They feel good on the paper. The effect, maybe it's because of the colours that I chose, doesn't look as good, in my opinion, as the others, but we'll see what happens if I add a bit of this. So adding that extra one seems to have made it a little bit spotty. So although they feel great on the paper, this colour selection I've used doesn't seem to be that great. But it is smoothing out and they do feel fantastic, so it's probably user error. Let's try the Bic marker. Now, Bic and Sharpies, they're alcohol-based. Unless you're using paper like Express Blend card, they're going to bleed through to the other side. So I pretty well know how this is going to end, but let's try it. And I've selected a lovely bright pinks, Barbie pink, shall we call it? And yes, it has gone through completely on the other side. So if you're going to use alcohol markers in your book, make sure you have like a laminate card behind it or lots and lots of paper, because it will stain and go through on the image on the other side. And the thing is, this is not alcohol paper, so it's never going to be able to blend without maybe tearing up the paper or pilling it. So alcohol paper is the best for markers. So let's try some watercolours, because I know many of you love to use them. So here is the teal green from the Inktense range. And this is actually not a watercolour, but an ink. But we add water to it. So I'm going to call it watercolor, but it's an actual ink. And we've got our nice little circle there. Let's add the color. Let's bring it to life. So going from light over to dark, it's going on smoothly, and I can actually feel it through the brush, filling in those little hills and valleys of the paper. So we'll wait for that to dry, and in the meantime we'll use the Caran d'Ache. I've got a discontinued colour here. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a green. We'll go directly onto the page. You can also use your brush and just brush off a bit. So it's dissolving it very easily. It's going on the page, doesn't seem to be any issues, and it feels great going on. So it goes on direct or on there, or you can put a little bit out on a dish. So let's have a look. And as you can see, there's no bleed through or buckling of the page from the watercolours. So that's a yes for the watercolours, a no for the alcohol markers, and the pencils seem to work like a dream on this paper. So I hope you found that helpful. Until next time, stay safe and happy colouring. And if you haven't seen the giveaway for this book, have a look on my channel. I should have a video up soon about how you can win a copy of this beautiful book, Rising by Karolina Kubikowska. So that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy colouring.